what a day it is. So this is my plot. So on the right hand side of the garden is where I grow all my vegetables. It's a no-dig plot, and this year I've changed the layout so that the beds run in strips rather than I used to have them in squares. So I've got some new potatoes in pots. I don't grow them in the beds because they take up too much space. Got some peas, some mange tout towards the back there. These are natural hazel sticks that I've collected, and behind them got broad beans. There's some spring onions, carrots, and some shallots at the back. Middle bed, beetroots, parsnips, more spring onions because I love them, and there's a bunch of sunflowers there in pots that are dwarf ones. They've got massive heads on them. I first saw them in Scotland. They're called Little Dorrit, and I really want to plant them there. I know it's a vegetable bed, but I'm going to mix it up a little bit and have as many flowers as I can, sort of companion planted, interplanted in between all the veg. So they're going to go there. I've got some sweet peas here. And on the right hand side, these are all my lettuces, and I've got some pak choi growing here, which have actually done quite well considering the time of year. They've been eaten a little bit, but they look quite good. Some celery just there. In this space here, I'm probably going to do some some squashes and some courgettes and my climbing beans. So they will all pack into that space there. I've got a little teeny pond here that is, honestly, it's just a stone trough, as you can see. Ignore the dead grass there. As soon as we put that out last year, the birds were loving it. It's covered in insects. It's, you know, the tiniest thing, but it's really popular and they love it. It's a really cute rhubarb. And then over here, this little bed is just mainly to get the pollinators going. Borage, calendula, and very proud of my limnampes this year. This was planted out, I packed it. I really put all the seedlings quite close together, and it's kind of paid off because it's gone like a big carpet full of really gorgeous flowers. It's my favourite thing. I put a lot of posts on my Instagram about that, so apologies. But this is covered in bees, hoverflies, you name it. This is a absolute mecca for the pollinators, and you know, that's the reason I love growing flowers, and it's really to encourage them as much as I can and get as much biodiversity into the garden as I can. There's a load of pots here of all sorts of different flowers, perennials mainly. They're for my front garden, which we are changing from lawn to flower bed, so they will move in due course. Obviously I've got my shed there. The garlic is in a trough, still growing quite strong. This garlic here is I think it's called Rhapsody White. It's from the garlic farm, and it's a soft neck variety, and it's usually ready about now, but obviously we are about 3 weeks behind with everything, so I'm not going to harvest it yet. And the stuff at the back is looking pretty peaky. I don't know whether it's just because it doesn't get enough sun, or maybe it just needs more time. Still looking pretty skinny, so we shall see. This sort of area is kind of my nursery, don't know where to put things area. Obviously I've got my cold frame. I've got some, what have I got there? Some purple sprouting broccoli, some kale, some chard, all sown 10th of May. That's going quite well, and just some surplus plants that I don't really know what to do with. Sunflowers and some tomatoes that are just waiting to be sold outside. I do have an honesty bench out the front of the house. I sell quite a lot of my stuff there. I've got a lot of pots here, mainly full of dahlias and annuals. They'll obviously fill out through the summer. Same here, so annuals full of geraniums, calendula, corinthe, and all these are a massive mixture: salvias, phlox, calendulas, bergamots. There's obviously some courgettes back there and some squashes. Actually, these are ready to go out, so that I'll probably do a video about that later, but they're going to go out today. And these will all be in pots at some point. I haven't really got any space in any beds for any more flowers, so what I've got here will grow in pots really. I'll mix it up a bit, but yeah, hopefully. I don't even know where I'm going to put more pots, but yeah. they're going to fit in somewhere. So the greenhouse, it's all planted up now, all different types of tomatoes this side. I've grown 18 different varieties this year, some that I've grown before, some that I haven't, just as an experiment to see how that goes. At the back I've got aubergines, and on the right hand side here are chilies and peppers. There's another little propagation station there. There's a heat mat under there for germinating some seeds, and they're pretty much ready to move off now. Lots of runner beans and dwarf beans and such. What have I got here? So along side of the greenhouse I have a little mini border where I plant all sorts of things. You know, there's verbenas, borage, scabious, ammi, corinthe, poppies, clematis, foxgloves, aquiledias, scabious, have I said that already? Probably. Some cosmos, yeah, loads of stuff. This just gets, it's just a, well, it's a bit of a mess, but I like it like that. Again, mainly based on what the pollinator's like. And I have here, at the end of my rose bed, a bee hotel. So this is from UK Mason Bees, and you can pay to become a bee guardian. And when you do that, you buy the bee hotel and you join a scheme where they send you cocoons in the spring. And in this box here are the cocoons which you put out for hatching. You can see, oh, in fact there's two. Let's see that, where are they? There's two there. So they hatch. Oh, there's a lot of barging going on. They hatch in these cocoons. You can see all the cocoons have hatched now. They're the dark brown ones. The green ones, don't know if you can see that well. The green ones are leaf cutter cocoons, so they come out a little bit later in the year. They're solitary bees as well. Often you'll see them flying through the garden holding a leaf. It's completely bizarre. Sometimes the leaf is like 5 times the size of them. They're amazing. But they line their cocoons with the leaf, which is why you get that little, or line their nest rather, why you get a cocoon that looks like a leaf. So they'll be hatching soon. I mean, I'm not being funny. How cute is that? So sweet. So the idea is that they hatch. Let's just shut that gently. They hatch, go around, pollinate the garden, and then come back and put their eggs in this little hotel. It's got observation drawers. I'm not actually going to open them now because obviously there's a bee visiting, but these holes are obviously different sizes for different varieties of pollinators and different bees. And there's also some nesting tubes at the back. But these drawers are clear on the top. So I have to show you another time, but you can actually see where they lay their eggs. It's amazing. So this is the rose bed. It's been here for a long time. There's some really old roses in here and they are pretty gnarly, some of them. But again, in the summer they look amazing. The only thing is you do get quite a lot of gaps in between them. So this year I have done an experiment and I've planted absolutely tons of cosmos in between. And I'm hoping that the roses will provide the cosmos with a bit of support. And in turn, the cosmos will, if I just turn around, and in turn, the cosmos will fill this whole section up with lots of wafty flowers in between the roses. So it may not work, but I'm hoping it will look quite pretty. So this kind of section is quite wildly planted, really. It's not too much structure to it. And again, mainly all for pollinators. I've got a load of chives here that look absolutely amazing at this time of year, and they are loved by the bees. So that's it. It's a beautiful day to do a recording on. Believe me, the garden hasn't looked this nice over the last few weeks, but I think it's onwards and upwards for us gardeners now. So no more frosts, the weather's warming up, and I'm going to get planting my courgettes. Have a lovely weekend, everybody.